Hey guys, Mr. Lloyd here. I'm going to work with you on this video for April 28th. This page that we'll be working on for this video at the top says 7-13 class activity, converting customary units of liquid volume. So this is another one of those unit conversion pages, and we'll work through this page. We'll just start at the very top. We're going to use this little box that the paper gives us to start. We're going to use this box up here to start our thinking out and to kind of square away our thinking. So the first job on number 6 was to write two unit rates relating quarts and gallons. And so I just take this bottom line here where it says 4 quarts equals 1 gallon, and I rewrite this as two different unit rates. These two unit rates are equivalent. I'm just writing them. The first one here in blue is 4 quarts per gallon. That's how I would read that, 4 quarts per gallon. And then similarly here, all I do here with my green pen is I flip-flop this. So I go from 4 quarts per gallon. On this problem, I want gallon on top, so my 4 turns into 1/4. This unit rate is the inverse. And so I have 1/4 of a gallon per quart. Okay, and that's all we had to do on number 6. Pretty straightforward. The next few problems we have to do some calculations. So we'll read problem 7 real quick, and then I'll show you the paper I did my calculations on. So how many quarts would it take to fill a 2 3/4 of a gallon punch bowl? So this is a real common problem when we're working in the kitchen and we're mixing up different liquids, and some of our measurements for our recipe come in quarts and some of them come in gallons, and so it's important to be able to quickly go back and forth between these types of measurements. So this is a very important skill. Let's take a look at number 7 here. So how many quarts? Well, the first thing I need to do is select one of the unit rates. I've selected the unit rate. My goal is to have quarts on top, so I chose this unit rate, 4 quarts per gallon. And so I start out, and I start out by multiplying 2 3/4 of a gallon by this unit rate. And as I do that, the first thing I do is cross out my units. Gallons and gallons cancel one another out. And so now I'm at 2 3/4 times 4 quarts. But before I multiply a mixed number by a whole number, I need to convert that mixed number into an improper fraction. And so I do that here, 11/4 times 4 over 1. Remember, turn a whole number into a fraction by just putting 1 underneath. And then you multiply top times top, bottom times bottom, you get 44 over 4. Quarts is our measurement. 44 over 4 simplifies to 11 quarts. Okay? Number 8 asks us to convert 22 quarts to gallons. And so number 8 asks us to convert 22 quarts to gallons. So we take 22 quarts and we select, and I'm going to zoom out for just a quick second. I'll come right back to this one. I'm going to select this unit rate, 1/4 of a gallon per quart. Okay. And the reason I select that is I want gallons on top because the unit on bottom is going to cancel out. So 22 quarts times 1/4 of a gallon per quart. I get rid of my quarts. They cancel each other out. I'm left with 22 times 1/4 of a gallon, 22 over 4 gallons. But let's simplify that because that's a crazy looking improper fraction. It's 5 2/4 of a gallon, but that can even be simplified. 2/4 can be simplified to 1/2. So we're left with a final answer of 5.5 gallons for number 8. All right. So 5.5 gallons equals 22 quarts. And then we're done with number 8. I'm going to come back to the original page for just a quick second here. So we're going to we did 6, 7, and 8. Let's do problem 9 here. So problem 9 asks, how many pints are in 1 gallon? Well, let's take a look at it. Problem 9, here we go up top. How many pints in 1 gallon? You can see I made a little error when I wrote that. Let's just keep that between us. Okay, how many pints in 1 gallon? Well, we're going to use a couple different unit rates. The first unit rate I'm going to use is 2 pints per quart, and that was given to us on the worksheet. So if you don't have that available to you, you can just flip back to that worksheet there. Take a look, it's in that top right corner in a box. So 2 pints for 1 quart. And then I'm going to use this other unit rate as well. So first thing I'm going to do is, with unit rates, we're multiplying these together as we're converting units. And so I take my first unit rate of 2 pints per quart, and I multiply it by this unit rate of 4 quarts per gallon. And what that does for me is it gets me to cancel out quarts, because quarts on top, quarts on bottom, so they cancel one another out. And I'm left with 2 pints times 4 per gallon, or 2 times 4 is 8. Pints on top, gallon on bottom, so I've got 8 pints per gallon. And I just wrote this as a sentence just to give me, to kind of tell my brain I'm done with this problem. There are 8 pints per gallon. Okay. Number 10, the unit rates here. Number 10 was just a quick, like, write down these unit rates. So once you get this answer, you can do a quick little rewrite of the first one, 8 pints per gallon. And then the inverse of this, or the equivalent value, is 1/8 of a gallon per pint. So again, we just flip-flop this. Okay. Number 11, there are 300 half pints of milk at a particular school. That was the problem. And they're asking, how many gallons of milk do I have to do? So again, we're trying to convert, we're taking a measurement in pints, and we need to convert it to gallons. And so again, we're just going to use some unit rates here. But in this case, let's take the problem is here, this word half pint should be, as a math thinker, should kind of trigger your brain. Wait a second. A half pint, well, if there's 300 half pints, then there are 150 pints. And of course, we just get that by multiplying 300 by 1/2. So there are 150 pints of milk. And now I'm going to convert 150 pints to gallons. And I'm going to do that using the unit rate of 1/8 of a gallon per pint, which is the unit rate I found on number 10. And I found that by solving problem number 9. So if you'll notice, these are all connected. That's kind of the point. Okay, so 150 pints times 1/8 of a gallon per pint. Pints cancel one another out. I'm left with 150 times 1/8, which gives me 150 over 8, which can simplify to 18 6/8, which can further simplify. Final step here, 6/8 can be simplified to 3/4. So 18 3/4 of a gallon. So that is 18 3/4 of a gallon is the same thing as 300 half pints. Okay, so again, same amount of milk total, just 2 different ways of representing it, 2 different kinds of measurements. Okay. Problem 12, we're given measurements of 72 cups and 20 quarts. So the first thing I notice as a math thinker is that my measurements are in different units, and in order to compare, which is what I'm having to do here, which is more, I need to convert these to the common measurement. So we could convert them either to cups, or we could convert them to quarts. It's your choice. I chose to convert 72 cups into X quarts, whatever that number of quarts is. I don't know it off the top, but I'll figure it out. And I use the unit rate of 1/2 of a pint per cup times 72 cups. I get 36 pints. Okay, so 36 pints, but I'm not done. Follow my arrow here. That's helping you. I'm trying to guide your thinking here. Then I've got pints, but I still need to go to quarts. So I need to remember that there's a unit rate of quarts per pint, and it's 1/2 quart per pint. So I take this 36 pints, I multiply it by this unit rate of 1/2 quart per pint. I'm left with, I get 36 over 2 quarts. Pints cancel each other out. So 36 over 2 quarts, and 36 over 2 can simplify to 18. And so I've got 18 quarts. So 72 cups is the same thing as 18 quarts. Now, is 18 greater than or less than 20? Well, this should be the easiest problem of the century. Of course, 20 is greater. So let me just wait for that little guy to disappear there. Well, maybe it won't. But since 72 cups equals 18 quarts, so I'm just reading the sentence I wrote here at the bottom. Since 72 cups equals 18 quarts, 20 quarts is greater than 72 cups. Okay, 20 quarts is greater than 72 cups. All righty. Let's take a look. Got one more page of work to do. That was number 12 that we left off with. And that was all we had. All right, I goofed up, but Thank you for watching. Thanks for putting up with my poor video skills and my sometimes confusion. This is all new to me. I think I'm getting teensy bit better at this, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please remember to ask questions if you've got any during our Zoom meeting. You can text, you can phone call, you can send an email, have your parents get in touch. They know how to get in touch if you don't. So please, 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 please ask for help if you need it. It's really important that we keep these skills as sharp as we can during this time. And I will be posting the next video and the final video very shortly. Thank you.